Hello everybody, my name is Lusty. Welcome to another video. Today we're gonna do something interesting. I was talking about this a little bit for little portions in the last video, and I thought it would be cool to make one single video about this topic. And the thing is, there's a bunch of games that were banned in my country where I live right now, and there's a history of games being banned here that we weren't able to play, and some of those games we still can't play as of today. So I was thinking I'm gonna show you guys a list of games that I found. It's not all of the games that were ever banned, but a decent amount, and many of them you probably know. I have the list right here. The first game on this list is actually a game which I heard of, but I never played it because it's just not my type of game. It's called Commandos Behind Enemy Lines. While doing research about this game, I found out that it plays in the Second World War and involves Germany and the National Socialism. And you have to know, where I live, everything that has to do with National Socialism is forbidden to be shown in any games. Funnily, this rule doesn't apply to movies, so we have a lot of movies here too that were never censored or anything just because the plot revolves around National Socialism. But apparently to games there's different rules that apply. Moving along, we have Condemned. This is actually a game that funnily I was able to buy a key months ago and play on this channel too. This game was banned when it came out, so was the second one, as you can see on the list here. And I actually found the reason why it was banned, and I copied the text to show you guys. It says, Condemned was confiscated because of inhumane and cruel depiction of violence, glorification of vigilantism, and the use of violence. Also because of the incompatibility of the game content with the applicable norms of regulated coexistence. If you don't know this game, basically what it's about, you're a person that wants to take revenge, and on your walkthrough you have to face enemies, and all those enemies are humans, and that's a problem here. That's like the main reason why games are being banned or put on an index. You have to know there's two terms that are important in this topic. The first one is a game can be put on an index here, which means that every game out there in the market has to be collected and can't be shown to public. So if you go into a store and you're like, oh, I wanted to buy this game, but you don't seem to have it, you can ask a clerk and ask them if they have it, and usually those games that were put in an index can be sold, but only if you ask the people, because those games can't be put on shelves or anything, or the Windows storefront, whatever. So you have to go up and ask, and if they have it, they can sell it to you. You can also make no advertisements for these type of games that were put on an index. The second term, which is way more serious, is if a game is being seized or confiscated. That basically means every game has to be collected by the government, and they put it on a list where it can't be sold no matter what. You can't get it here. And all the games that you can see here were not only put on an index, they were also seized. So this is a tough list. All the games you can see here you can't play here anymore, except for a few exceptions, but we're gonna talk about that. Moving on to Dead Rising and Dead Rising 2, I think you're pretty aware of what Dead Rising is. Basically a zombie game where you just walk around and kill zombies, a lot of them, with everyday items. And that was the reason for banning this game actually. It said that kids could be motivated to go around and beat people up with whatever is used in the games, and I have a video here too. You can see like all the different items that are used: swords, weapons, an axe, tools, swords. Oh, there it is, there's the guitar. You can smash zombies with the guitar. And the government was like, you know, we can't sell this game because kids who see this are gonna be like, we're gonna take a guitar and smash somebody's head in. It sounds weird, but yep, that's the reasoning, at least for this game. And also the amount of zombies that you can kill and the amount of blood and gore, I guess, was just the icing on the cake. Now we have a remark here for Dead Rising 1, but not for 2. Dead Rising, the first part was lifted. The ban was lifted between 2017 and 2018. I don't know why they didn't do the same treatment for the second part, but yeah, you can buy the first one apparently now, but you can't do so with Dead Rising 2. Moving on to Left 4 Dead 2. This is a very famous game, and when this game came out, I think in 2009, it was immediately censored, and I think, as far as I know, it was put in on index and then seized afterwards. But as with Dead Rising 1, the ban was lifted with this game in 2019. All the restrictions are lifted and you can enjoy the original game as it was supposed to be played. And just to show you why the game was banned, what I think at least, is the amount of zombies and gore just with Dead Rising 1. If you see here, a lot of blood, a lot of zombies. Yeah, I guess it's as simple as that. You know, the amount of people you can kill, I mean zombies, and the blood made them say, nope, this game is definitely nothing for us. So the next two games on the list, I can totally understand why they were banned. You have to know the main reason for games being banned is if you can harm normal people in the game. It doesn't even matter if you can kill zombies in the most obscure way or anything. Just with the Dead Space games, none of those were even censored in the country where I live. But if it's about harming or killing normal people, they're most likely gonna be like, nope, you're not gonna be playing this. And that's what Manhunt and Manhunt 2, I'm not gonna show videos, it's kind of harsh. Basically what you do is walk around and kill normal people in the most brutal ways. I've seen some kills. If you're interested, you can just Google it up and see it on YouTube. And I'm actually stunned that this game was released by Rockstar back in the day. They put out 2 games and they're pretty violent. Moving on in the list, we have Mortal Kombat. I'm pretty sure many of you heard of this and know what it is. It's a fighting game, very brutal, especially the finishers you can do on your enemies. I'm guessing, you know, they said this is just unnecessary violence because of the way you can kill people, the creativity they put in the game, and the animations I think were all just too graphic and too brutal and too gory. And the game was banned. It was the first part, the second and the third, and we can see here again the games, all 3 of them. I think there's more parts if I'm not wrong, but these 3 were lifted. The ban was lifted in 2019 for all of these 3. The next game on the list is a funny one because this is Scarface. I didn't even know this game existed, but apparently it did for the older generations, PS2, Xbox 360. When I saw this game on the list, I was curious, like, how can this game be, I know the movie's kind of harsh, but it's not that brutal. How can this game be that brutal that it made the people put this game on a list and tease it afterwards? So I was looking and I found this on YouTube. It is very brutal. You basically just walk around and you kill many people in a very short period of time. And basically most of the time what happens is their heads explode. That's I think a significant reason. Just shooting people is not bad, or in other words, no reason for a ban or for a game to be put on an index, just like any war games. But if you can shoot them in a way that their head explodes, I guess it's a problem. And as you can see here, you just walk around, you kill a lot of people, their head explodes, and we have these brutal finishers right there. Boom, head explodes. I think he does it again right here. Yep. And as far as I know, there is a lot more finishers like these, and those are reasons for games to be banned here, and that's why this game is still banned as of today. No lift for this one. So there's a lot of Silent Hill games out there. I don't even know how many, maybe 8 or 7 or 9, but one of those games made it on this list actually, and it's Silent Hill Homecoming. And I was doing some research as to why, because I was curious, and it was basically the same reason that applied to Scarface 2. This game, you don't only kill monsters, but you have a few of normal people as enemies. Basically, saying normal people, they're just basically freaks probably, but you know, they look human, they are human, but you are able to kill them with brutal finishers and in brutal ways. As you can see here, you're fighting someone and he basically pickaxes his head, or like you see here, slit his throat, or what is he doing now? He's smashing his head in. You know, being able to do harm or kill normal people in a game is one thing, but if you have these finishers, you know, where it switches to a sequence basically and shows it from different angles, and these finishers are supposed to be very brutal, they don't like it here. They're gonna be these type of games are gonna be banned for sure, and that was why Silent Hill Homecoming was banned. And the same thing applies to Soldier of Fortune. This is a war game where you walk around, you shoot, and that's not the problem, but when you shoot or throw explosives, your enemies can be blown into pieces, and that's considered too brutal and is a reason for the game to be banned. That's why these games are still on the list, Silent Hill as well as Soldier of Fortune. You can't buy them here, you can't play them here. I think if you get them from another country and you can make it run on your system, it's fine, but it's not allowed to be sold here and won't probably be. Now the last games on this list is Wolfenstein 3D. I think that was the first part ever made of Wolfenstein. And I don't know what that is. I think it's the second part that was released in 2009 here. Those games were banned too. Just like Commandos Behind Enemy Lines, this game revolved around National Socialism. And these Wolfenstein games were filled with symbols of National Socialism. And I don't know why they remove this and say no to games, but those things are still allowed in movies. If you just check out Inglourious Bastards, just to name one example, those are fine. They don't censor any movies or anything, but apparently they don't want kids because, you know, games are played mostly by kids or teenagers. I'm guessing they just never wanted them to be exposed to this, you know, shooting enemies, thinking it's cool, and then associating it with action or whatever. I can kind of understand it, and on the other side I can't. But as you can see here, Wolfenstein, the first one 3D was lifted, and prior to that even the second part, I think it's the second part, but it was lifted too in 2019. A lot of games were lifted, a lot of bans on games were lifted in 2019. As you can see, you're maybe wondering, why are they doing this now? Why are they why are they removing the bans on the games? You know, the government here used to be very harsh on games and what is shown to kids. But over the years, you know, you could see like how they slowly became more relaxed and said, okay, there's a little bit of things here in this game we're not okay with, but the majority of the game is fine. Like, it's just about fine, you know. Okay, we're gonna release it, it's fine, you can play it. So over the time, the rules became less strict and more relaxed. And that's why we have many games that are released today that probably would have been banned 10 years ago, but aren't, because, you know, the mentality changed. I think back then a lot of things were blamed, even not in this country, just globally. A lot of violence was blamed on video games, and that's why it was so strict back then. The bans on some of these games I can actually understand. I think the best example on this list is the Manhunt games. I've never understood what this game was about and why you would make a game where it's just about just killing people, basically. It seemed, even watching those gameplay videos years ago, it seemed pointless to me. I think the plot wasn't even the main thing. It was just about getting a rush by killing in the cruelest ways. So I can see, you know, why these type of games were banned. On the other hand, some bans I can understand as of today, but the important thing is the rules got loosened and it's way less strict. Like today, you would really have to push boundaries for a game to be seized or put on a list. That's probably not gonna happen. I think the last game that it happened to was Dying Light in 2015. And I think even that was lifted. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I think many people from outside don't know that the country that I live in was this strict with games and didn't allow you to buy them. And that was the reason why I was thinking, I'm gonna show you guys a few games. This is, as I said in the beginning, not the full list. There's probably a lot more games. But just to give you a quick look, that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed a lot. If you did, leave a comment, it helps out a lot. Rate and favorize, join the Discord, you can talk to me there anytime. And I see you as always in the next one. Bye guys.